I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. Okay, today I'm talking about solitude. One of the most crash out parts of my life was when I was alone or I felt like I was isolated. I've never been like alone until like 2018 where I moved to Europe and I had to be without my friends and my brother, my mom, my cousins, everyone. It was one of the most crash out moments of my life. I've never crashed out again since then. I even begged to go back home. Solitude is one of the most painful aspects in anyone's life if they've never faced that before. You're gonna cry, crash out. Your mind is going to race. You're going to have a monkey mind. A lot of things are going to go through your mind. You're going to wonder if you're even going to survive another day without talking to people, without seeing your friends, without just facing your demons. It all comes down to you facing yourself. Because I know that before that, I had never, ever been alone to face myself and question my behaviors and hold myself accountable. But since then, I've learned to recognize most of the patterns and things that I do. It's kind of like the subconscious came to the surface. And at that moment, I felt like I saw the devil. So let's talk about solitude. So solitude is you being alone without feeling lonely. And you ask me, how does that work? You being alone without feeling lonely is you enjoying your own company. You enjoying being by yourself. And you can only do that if you have enough self-love for yourself. People who love themselves or who are natural introverts mostly thrive when they're alone or when they're enjoying their own company. I didn't even know I possessed a drop of an introvert blood until I started enjoying my own company. So these are the things and ways to embrace your solitude. First of all, you're going to crash out if you've never been alone before. If you've never been in a situation where you have no one around you and it feels like you're alone. You're going to feel like you're lonely, but you're not lonely. You have yourself, you have your emotions, you have things to unpack, you have things to do. I know that's what you don't want to face. So you feel like you are lonely. So you try to distract yourself with your phone, with maybe corn, with unnecessary things. So many gambling, so many things which are unnecessary. You just having crazy moments with people, maybe one night stand or whatever, because you don't want to face yourself. But that's not how you go about solitude. If you being alone means you're pressing your phone, that is not solitude. If you being alone means you're sleeping all the time, that's not solitude. Or eating all the time, that's not solitude. Solitude is the ability to sit by yourself and enjoy the silence with yourself. That space, that silence, that peace. Solitude is you being alone and listening to music and just enjoying your tea. Solitude is you sitting alone, reading a book and being comfortable with you just there reading a book without another person's voice or presence. Solitude is you just being alone, creating your art and enjoying it, laughing by yourself, doing your makeup and enjoying your company, picking up dresses and doing dress up and just enjoying your company. That's solitude. Anything that you do alone that makes you happy, guess what? You've passed the test of self-love. So first of all, learn how to love yourself. Self-love, self-love, self-love. I know you will scream, I love myself. Can you be alone for like the whole day without talking to anyone, without touching your phone? Can you? If you can't, then you haven't loved yourself enough. And I'm going to tell you how to love yourself. So what helped me cultivate self-love was me facing my own self. Ta-da! The painful part was me going to the depth of the wounds that I carry. Me unpacking everything. Me remembering things from childhood that I've never tapped in before, that I've never opened before. It's like opening a dusted book. Scary. It was like watching a scary movie. Solitude made me go all the way back to my childhood, to face everything I've been through, to forgive people, to cry, grieve, the loss, the pain, to forgive people, accept myself, forgive myself, accept people, reject some, ignore some, move on from some, and taking the lesson with me and embracing my inner child as if I birthed it, you know. It was a point in my life where I had to forgive my parents also. I had to forgive some friends, some adults who did nasty things. It was a point in my time where I had to reprogram my mind and reject certain things that I was taught because it wasn't helpful. It wasn't benefiting me in any way. In fact, if anything, it was destroying me. It was keeping me. It was holding me back. Solitude got me to that point. Did I cry and do all that? Yes. That was why I was crashing out. Because I've never, and I didn't even know what I was doing. It felt like I was losing my mind. It felt like, what the heck? Yes, you become a weirdo, especially to the people back home. Today, if you ask anyone back home, they'll tell you I'm a weirdo. They'll tell you I've changed so much and we don't relate anymore. And the only person I talk to is my family. And even my family is just my mom and my brother. And I'm sure we talk because they're my mom. She's my mom and that's my brother. Like, you can't do anything about me. It's like, you know, you can get rid of me because I'm your daughter, you know. The rest of my family, it's only birthday wishes because we don't relate anymore. They're still doing the old things we used to do. Still thinking the same old way we used to think. Still laugh at people who are trying to do something for their life. They probably still laugh, or they probably laugh at me that I do a YouTube channel because to them it's like, get a life. They probably feel like I'm bougie because I like to dress up and do whatever I want. They probably feel like I am stingy because I don't try to impress them with my money. They probably think a lot about me. But one thing solitude taught me is the art of not giving an F what anyone thinks. Because I've unpacked all that judgment. I visualized myself being judged and I still said, F it. I visualized myself being criticized by my family members and being called whatever. I already visualized it, so if they did, I know they did and I don't care. That is what solitude taught me. And then from there, after facing myself, I accepted everything about me, which is another part that I didn't even know. I didn't even know I was rejecting any part of me. I thought I loved me so much. But the constant chasing of validation, the constant trying to impress people, trying to do things to make someone proud, all of that is not you accepting that you are this type of person. You're doing things to please people. Yeah, I have. I was trying to keep a certain behavior so everyone would see me as a good girl, you know? And it wasn't worth it. I was eating a part of me which was very authentic. I was hiding parts of me which was very creative, which was very different. I was trying to fit in. I was trying to be like everyone. And I kind of like reprogrammed my mind that I don't have to do anything to be accepted. I don't have to be like my other siblings to be accepted. And I don't have to call everyone every day just to feel like I'm the good one. I don't care. It's like I stopped caring of being the good one or the bad one or whatever they think. Solitude, embracing it, opened my eye to a whole new different world. After accepting myself, I forgave, especially myself. You know, you never know when you're holding baggage until you are unpacking them. Once you start unpacking the baggage, you realize how much baggage you hold in your heart and in your mind. You never know how much trauma you hold until you start facing them. And that is when I realized that I'm cooked. Like I was cooked as a child. Literally. When you're a child, people don't treat you as a human being sometimes. They just treat you like a plastic thing. Like they don't see you as someone who grew up and have feelings and like recognize patterns. So I realized that yeah, it's not their fault. I mean, even if it's their fault, right now it's my responsibility to unpack. So I forgave people. I forgave myself first, because if you don't forgive yourself first, you can't forgive someone. If you don't forgive yourself, you can't forgive. I forgave myself. I forgave people. And some I don't speak to again. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to still be in contact with people you forgave. You can forgive someone and not even have their phone number. You can forgive someone and they might even be dead. It doesn't matter. I forgave people for whatever they did to me because I had to free myself. My peace mattered to me more than the fact that I'm holding on to something which holds no benefit. After forgiving, I started loving myself more. I realized that I did things only for me, not like in a selfish way. Even though, yeah, I started learning how to be selfish because that's the only way sometimes you have to break free from that cage. You have to save yourself first, right? Because it's like I'm breaking out from this generational pattern or trauma or whatever. So I had to be selfish and get to a point where I'm comfortable if I can help everyone out. So I started loving myself. I realized I became selfish. And at first, if someone had told me someone was selfish, I would judge them and think they are bad people, you know. But once I got there and I realized, oh, selfish is the key. Selfish was the key. I started putting myself first. I started doing things that made me happy. I started making choices that pleased me, that came from my heart, that came from my soul. That was mostly like something that I enjoy doing, not because I want to please someone, I want someone to be proud of me. I started doing things which made me comfortable and not caring. I started loving myself so much that I took exercise as a self-love routine. I started exercising. I started practicing yoga all by myself. I'll just put my phone down, watch the YouTube channel, and do it. I've never been to a yoga class. Back then, I never went to the gym, nothing. I would just try, fall down, try, because I found I found some kind of love for, working on my body. And I don't know why. It became an addiction. But it was a good addiction. It was a good addiction because I became conscious of what I put in my body, the things I say, even the things I watch. I started unfollowing people on social media who didn't post things that related to where I was going. I deleted people. I blocked people. I started using my phone less because I enjoyed my own company. No one told me not to use my phone less. I just stopped using I saw my phone as a liability. I don't know why. I started seeing my phone as, it's distracting me. I want to get here. I want to do this. And this phone is distracting me. So I started using my phone less. I only use my phone when I'm about to learn something or I'm about to work out. And right now, as you can see, I only use my phone to create and receive calls. That's what I use my phone for. Up to now, I still feel like my phone is a liability. When I'm alone, I don't touch my phone. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb or flight mode and I throw it somewhere. And I study. I listen to music I have like a laptop and I listen to music there. Or I just read a book. I have books in my room. I read a book or I paint. I do something creative. I started seeing my phone as a liability. And I did all this without knowing that I was embracing solitude. I didn't know I was embracing myself. So if you want to embrace solitude, I hope this helped. I hope this serves as a map to you to know that I'm being vulnerable. It's not an easy journey. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's easy. It's as easy as a pizza. No, it's not as easy as you think. I'm saying it this way, but it has taken me 7 years to get to a point where I'm even vulnerable. And I'm still on the journey. The funny thing is, self-love doesn't end. Every day I discover something new about me and I'm like, damn, when does it stop? Things I even loved a year ago, I despise it. It doesn't serve me anymore because I keep improving. I keep upgrading my mind and my soul. I keep discovering myself. I've entered so much deep into spirituality. Oh, and one thing I was going to teach you, if you're solitude, it's spirituality. At first, I didn't know what meditation was. I felt meditation was like some BS. Guess what? I'm locked in, twin. I'm locked in. Every night I meditate, I journal. Things that I saw people you're doing too much, are the things that I'm discovering and I'm learning more about. I'm so deep in it. Things I judged before, I'm kind of being attracted to it. So yeah, solitude will change you, but I pray it changes you for the better. Don't use solitude as a time to do drugs or to watch porn, or don't use it as a time to speak bad to yourself, because when you're alone, the things you do reflects in your in your persona, in your aura, if you don't know. So don't be solitude just to abuse yourself. It's going to show when you come out. It's always going to show. The way you speak, people will know your mind, because out of the heart or out of the mind, whatever they say, the mouth speaketh, If you're with yourself and you speak bad about yourself and you trash yourself, when you speak to people, they can tell. When I speak to someone and they don't love themselves, they don't need to tell me. The way they speak about themselves tells me everything. But you know what I do? I speak to myself like I am my best friend or the best daughter I ever had. Okay? Because my inner child is listening. She had to face that. Doesn't mean me as the adult still has to treat her like that. I'm here to protect her. I'm here to protect myself, and I'm here to love myself. So I speak to myself like I've met my soulmate. Oh my God, I feel fabulous. That's how I speak to myself. I speak to myself like I'm the most fabulous friend I've ever had, because I am. And my friends treat me the same way, like the most fabulous friend they've ever had. However you talk to yourself and treat yourself when no one is watching, it's exactly what is going to reflect in the people you meet. So if you're very bad to yourself and you abuse yourself and you speak bad and you hate yourself, you realize that you face a lot of self-hatred from people. You face a lot of hatred from people. You face a lot of abuse from people, maybe in your relationship. So learn to be nice and kind to yourself. Learn to love yourself genuinely. Not only for healing, but for your own sanity. You might think, oh, I'll just stay here and be alone and use the opportunity to do drugs. When you come out, everyone will know you're a junkie. They will see it. That you being alone is not even helping you. They might even, when you're alone now, they'll start knocking on your door, trying to get you out of your room because you're not using the solitude for something better. That's it. But if you're using solitude to study, to work out, your mom or your dad is not going to knock in your room and tell you to come out because you're doing something. If you use that time to learn how to do makeup, they're not going to tell you that you need to go and see a therapist or a psychologist. But if your solitude is you drinking or you smoking, or maybe you need to see a doctor, you need to see a or a physician. So use solitude for the best, because once you come out, we can all tell from your aura. We can tell by the way you talk, by the way you laugh, by the way you act in public, jiggly. That tells you you're not comfortable with yourself. People who are comfortable with themselves are very confident. They don't care what people think. Like me, for instance, don't you think I know people watch my video and judge me? I know people judge me, but do I care? No, I'll still show up every day because I don't care. The people who are meant to receive the message will understand. So go out there and embrace yourself and embrace every part of you. Accept yourself and love yourself and show up as your most authentic self without you caring what people think, because people are going to think anyway. And first of all, why are people even thinking about you? Because people don't have a lot to do. So they rather center you in their life. And what's more worth it than being the center of someone's life? I'd rather be that than me wasting my time centering other people in my life. I'd rather sit here and talk about my experiences than sit somewhere and talk about other people. Use your time beneficial. Like, use your time for something beneficial, okay? And thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And let me know in the comments below what you think. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.